Dragon Endeavour departed the International Space Station at 2:05 p.m. Pacific Time on October 23rd. On board Crew 8 are NASA astronauts Matthew Dominick, Michael Barratt, and Jeanette Epps, as well as Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grebenkin, and they are now on their way to the targeted Splashdown site just off the coast of Pensacola, Florida. We have our first views inside the Dragon capsule with our Crew 8 members. It seems as though everyone is sitting very comfortably inside their seats as they await their return back to Earth.
Nominal trunk jettison.
Dragon cabin.
All right. Great news there. So not only did we perform the claw separation, but we also jettisoned the trunk, and that call out there was from SpaceX Core, which is located there in SpaceX Mission Control Hawthorne. Those are our operators that are on console monitoring and controlling Dragon. And yeah, so that is a good call out. So next up will be the deorbit burn. This will last 9 minutes long, and everything so far is looking good for splashdown of Crew 8. We can see the crew there keeping tabs on things with the touchscreen displays. Doing a little fist pump there was Commander Matthew Dominick. I think they're excited to come home. Like we mentioned before, this is the longest human spaceflight mission in a Dragon capsule that has been performed so far. So, oh, this is a cool view because we can actually see indications there. The two outward screens that show which Draco thrusters are firing. So it's an opportunity for the crew to keep live tabs on what is happening with the thrusters just above their heads.
And we were getting a good view of Matt. Oh, there we are, right on time. A good view of Matt Dominick. He is the commander of Endeavour. This is his first space flight, and I have just so enjoyed seeing the photography that he has been able to capture.
Been incredible.
Yes, if you have not seen it, please do go check out our social media pages, our Flickr account. He really took to the photography during his mission and has captured some just breathtaking, spectacular, marvelous images. I think the only thing that could be better is if I were able to see it with my very own eyes from up there.
Deorbit burn complete. Performance nominal. Nose cone closure initiated.
Dragon cabin.
There's our first view of Dragon Endeavour making its streaking appearance across the sky.
And we actually do have a very special guest, Shaniqua Vereen, a public affairs officer at the Johnson Space Center. She's on the boat right now. Shaniqua, can you hear us okay? And let us know what you are seeing right now as we watch Crew 8 streak through the atmosphere about to splash down. Let us know what you're seeing.
Yes, Sandra. Hi. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. I am on a recovery vessel, Megan, as you stated. We are getting our first views here on the ship as well. I'm with NASA photographer who is seeing the navigation lights as well as the streaking across the sky. It's a pretty exciting time right now on the recovery vessel. All personnel that's not on the FAST are up at the front of the hull of the ship, just watching it as it comes in. Again, the Megan is stationed about 3 miles, about 1.5 nautical miles away from the splashdown zone, and we're looking to have the crew splash down in just about, 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes, and so we're catching all the views until the parachutes deploy and they splash down in the ocean.
That is so excellent, Shaniqua. I am jealous of the view. I mean, it's beautiful on our screen, but I can't even imagine what it looks like in person. So soak that in, enjoy that moment. We are expecting to regain communications from the crew in about a minute or so. We might start to hear some of those calls out from the ground or from Matt Dominick, the commander of Crew Dragon Endeavour, as they come out of this blackout period. But again, we're continuing to get great views of Crew 8 as they are re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Again, standing by to regain those communications, expecting that in about a minute or so.
Dragon SpaceX, comm check.
Loud and clear. How
We have you the same.
Once again, this Oh, there we can see that the drogue parachutes, thanks to that WB-57 views, drogues are deployed. We can see two good-looking drogues. Oh, this is a great view from inside the parachute bay where those drogue parachutes...
Drogue chute descent rate nominal.
Next,
Dragon copies.
those drogue chutes will next pull out the main parachutes, and we'll see those 4 main parachutes open and inflate. Once again, Dragon is, we can see deployment there of the 4 main parachutes. Dragon is doing this autonomously, releasing each set of parachutes. We can now see those 4 main parachutes begin to inflate. Pretty incredible to see how, as those main parachutes inflate, the capsule itself slows down even more significantly.
Main chute descent rate nominal.
Copy. Nominal descent rate 1,000 meters.
Copy, 1,000.
We will continue to hear call-outs from Commander Matt Dominick of the distance from the water. Those parachutes really doing their job now, as you mentioned, Kate, starting to slow the spacecraft down even more and more. By the time the crew actually does splash down in the water, they'll be going about 15, 16 miles per hour. So those parachutes really taking on that air to slow down the spacecraft.
800 meters.
Copy, 800.
Like you said, Commander, Matt Dominick will continue to report altitude every 200 meters. So we just heard the 800-meter call out.
And we also heard that the descent rate was nominal or as expected. Another good call.
100 meters.
A good call out there.
Copy, 600.
Continuing to get great views from the WB-57 as Crew 8 is nearing splashdown.
400 meters.
Copy, 400.
Meters, bracing.
Copy, 200 and braced.
At this point in time, the seats in Dragon have rotated a little bit to help provide a more comfortable and safer bodily orientation for the crew members as they come closer to splashdown. Like we said before, the capsule's going about 15 or 16 miles per hour.
And splashdown.
And Endeavour, we see the same. On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
And as you can see on your screen, we do have visual confirmation.
NASA SpaceX teams, what an incredible ride.
Again, we do have visual confirmation of Crew 8 successfully splashing down after 235 days in space. They are now back on Earth. Dragon Endeavour has returned home, and NASA astronauts Matt Dominick, Mike Barratt, and Jeanette Epps, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grebenkin are back on Earth after an approximately 34-hour return journey from space.
As you can see, SpaceX recovery ship and team have been waiting for Dragon splashdown, and they're now making their way to the splashdown location. Teams have been ready and waiting about 3 nautical miles away, so it's going to take about 30 minutes for them to make their way to Matthew, Michael, Jeanette, and Alexander. They're inside Dragon. We can see there the recovery lights shining some light onto the Dragon capsule. Now, immediately after splashdown, the Dragon capsule automatically cuts the lines.
Dragon, we show water operating flight control state.
SpaceX copies, we see the same.
That was just Commander Matt Dominick reporting the orientation in which Dragon is now in, which we see there on your screen. Like I mentioned before, the Dragon capsule automatically cuts.
SpaceX, we stable 1.
Copy and concur, stable 1.
Dragon automatically cuts the lines to the parachutes, so we will see some of the recovery team in the fast boats, which are now approaching the splashdown site. We'll see a couple of those boats divert over to where the parachutes landed, as we will retrieve those from the water.
Hypergol sweeps and unfired ordnance checks are nominal. Rigging is in progress. Approximately 25 minutes until capsule lift. Stand by for PMC with the ship flight surgeon and Hawthorne flight surgeon.
Dragon.
Dragon, SpaceX, comm check.
Loud and clear, Hollis.
Loud and clear as well. Transition from audio from Tidris to Megan successful. Rigging has been complete. Approximately 5 minutes until capsule lift.
Copy, 5 to lift.
Dragon, brace for capsule lift.
Dragon.
All right, lift now underway as we bring Dragon Endeavour out of the water. A great view from our drone. You can see the capsule now making its way toward the Dragon's Nest, and there's a good view of that egress platform, so you get a better sense of how far that translation is. So you can see some seawater there resting in the main parachute bay. Once the Dragon is translated forward, we will see the team rinse off the capsule using fresh water to help arrest any corrosion that may be underway due to the presence of that salt water. Salt obviously being corrosive to metallics, and we want to prevent that as our Dragon capsules are reused.
And we are really starting to see kind of that toasted marshmallow effect because of re-entering into the Earth's atmosphere there. And then we did see a view of the side hatch. We'll continue to see that come into more view, especially as the Dragon is translated a little bit closer.
Dragon, welcome aboard the recovery vessel Megan. Recovery personnel are completing their final checks. Stand by for translation to the egress platform.
Now, something you see there on the right-hand side of the egress platform, it is a rounded square. It's that white structure there off to the side. That is a piece of protective equipment that we will install once the side hatch is open. That will help protect the edges of the side hatch, help protect the seal, and also help protect the spacesuits and the crew members as they egress from the capsule. Now, the crew will keep their helmets on, but they will flip their visors up.
Side hatch opening in progress.
Go ahead.
All right, so we got the all clear from those safety checks, and we can see now that the crew has untorqued the side hatch. We see that being lifted. We can see that protective piece being put in place. Once again, nominal procedure is for each crew member to be assisted as they egress from the capsule.
And it looks like we are starting to see the first crew member be extracted. I'm not sure if that will be Commander Matt Dominick or Mike Barratt, but it is typically one of those middle seats because they're easiest to reach. So again, you do see that crew member getting some assistance. I can't quite tell who it is just yet.
I can only imagine what it feels like to have to stand up after spending nearly 8 months in space and having to stand up for the first time with Earth's gravity.
And that is NASA astronaut Matt Dominick, who is now out of the spacecraft. His very first space flight. Looks like we're getting some handshakes there.
High fives all around.
And so it looks like they're working now to extract the next crew member. So we'll stand by to see who it is, but I do expect that it would be NASA astronaut Mike Barratt. But we'll confirm that just momentarily.
In addition to the individual standing around the outside, there's also a recovery team member inside the capsule assisting with the egress.
And that is NASA astronaut Mike Barratt. This is he is the veteran on this space flight. The other 3 flyers on board, crew 8, were all rookies. And so in total, Mike Barratt has spent 447 days in space.
Saw some excitement there.
Yes.
Due to the limited space inside Dragon capsule, it's pretty normal to have the 2 individuals seated in the center seats, so the pilot and commander. It's pretty normal to have them egress first, as it helps give a little bit more working room there within the capsule for the crew members and the recovery team members.
And I do believe that is NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps, who is next out. Yep, Jeanette Epps was the next one out. So Alexander Grebenkin will be next. Again, this was her first space flight. Some quick waves.
Round of applause.
And we are starting to see Alexander Grebenkin be extracted from the spacecraft as well. Some thumbs up. And we now have all 4 crew members outside of Crew Dragon Endeavour following their 235 days in space. Some cheers and excitement for Crew 8. That's great to see.